Hey YouTube, Kiratwig here, bringing you guys another one of my Yu-Gi-Oh video specials. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the rarest Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I own in my collection. Now, most of the time I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh trader, so I'm moving a lot of cards back and forth. But there are some cards that I've gathered up and kept over time just for reasons of sentiment and other reasons, just, like holding onto the cards for, hopes of maybe increasing in value one day down the road. Who knows? But I thought I'd go ahead, and I got a pretty good pile of the ones I've gathered up. We're just going to go through individually, give a little summary of why I've kept this one, why I like it, and also just, in terms of what I mean by rarity. Some of the cards can be rarity in the sense of it is really hard to find just in trades lately as of yet, and some of them, rare at the time and maybe have gone down in price over a good while. But let's go ahead and get started. For starters, one card that around when Shining Darkness came out that I collected was Kwakimeru Bergzak. This card, I just really like the art, and it's not so much an expensive card, but it's definitely one of those cards that you don't see too often anymore. It was a secret rare in the pack, and I can't recall too many cards from Shining Darkness being reprinted, but I was able to really stock up in this card, and I can honestly say the last time I've seen this card, it's definitely been a good couple years since I have last seen one in another person's binder, and I think even the majority of these I picked up online by, specifically requesting this card. Other than that, I've never seen it frequently at locals or anything like that, but got a good amount of them up. I know Kwaki rares aren't really too relevant anymore. They're just sort of that kind of rock deck that people try out every now and again, not rock warrior and whatnot. But like I said, this card sticked around and has stuck with me since. Maybe one day I'll just keep on adding to the collection. I think he's about $3 now, but still, one of those cards is definitely rare to come across just by stroke of luck. And another one is during my dual terminal years. I was a big fan of the dual terminal, as many of you know, and I collected a lot of rare dual terminal cards. As for the ones I've kept, Barkion, been one of my favorites, and this card, when it originally came out, was around the $25 to $30 range in pricing, and a lot of these are pretty difficult to find. I think the rarest dual terminal card would still be the ones from the sneak preview set, like the Blue Eyes and the Dark Magician and a bunch of other, hidden gems. I know Trishula is up there just for the fact that it's a dual terminal one and the fact that you can only get them from the machine. But my favorites always had to be the Nichurias. I love the ultra rare rarities on these cards compared to their secret rare counterparts. You just saw more in the card artwork as well. And like I said, $25 is what Barkion originally was at when it came out. I know its price went down since just because he's not used as much, but it was definitely a sought out card at the time. And the fact that I was able to grab two of these, and once again, Bergzak's not a card you see too often anymore with people for trade, and if they do have it, most of the time they're holding on to it themselves just for that type of Barkion they want to use. And also, moving along, we have my ultimate rares that I use in my Yu-Gi-Oh main decks. These are cards that I basically held on to just for the fact that ultimate rares are not as easy to come by anymore since they're not in any of the main booster packs anymore. And the only way we are actually getting the ultra rares anymore is from, I said ultra rares, ultimate rares anymore is basically from the OTS packs. Other than that, I collected all these basically by pooling and trading for them. I think I've pulled the 4 of them, and the only ones I have traded for is the Shooting Star. But they all are still used by me in decks, mostly deck profiles and whatnot, stuck around, and they all hold value compared to their secret rare and sometimes ghost rare counterparts, just for the fact that, one, like I said, they're not made anymore, and they all just have that more, professional look to them if you were to run them in a deck. I know lots of people, when they want to go for the max rarity, most of the time you'll find that ultimate rare is the card to go for. I think the Cataster and the Maestroke are the OTS and Astro Pack pools, while the other ones are booster pack pools. I really do wish we'll hopefully soon get ultimate rares back in the booster sets, the base sets basically, for Yu-Gi-Oh!, making it much more easier to get, because there are a lot of cards that I think have potential to be real money grabbers if they are just in a different rarity than they would be currently. If they were Ultimate Rare, definitely. And they're just, you know, harder to find. I go to locals, and Ultimate Rares are probably the hardest rarity for me to find in someone's binder, just because they're seldomly seen anymore. But definitely, you know, if I ever come across an Ultimate Rare, definitely want to hold on to it. Definitely why I've also been collecting them up with all my trade binders lately. And also, Shonen Jump promos. I still held on to all this time my Shooting Quasar Dragon from Shonen Jump. This card jumped up to $100 at one point when it was really popular in the Synchron decks and whatnot. I think it is actually single digits now, but at the time, took a lot from me to want to hold on to this card just for the sole purpose of using it compared to selling it for that much money. And I was just in the thought that we probably won't see a reprint for this card for a very long while, and I don't want to risk getting rid of it. The same can be said for my Slifer, the Sky Dragon Shonen Jump promo. This card jumped up, I think, to $80. I think it's still a pretty good priced Slifer compared to the other ones as well. But if you saw it and you were lucky enough to have held on to it from your Shonen Jump promo, these two cards were definite gems that made your investment in Shonen Jump at the time completely worth it. Like I said, I don't think Quasar is too much anymore. I know Slifer's a bit up there. One, people do love the art style of this card as well. And overall, compared to the original arts, which are very cool still because they're anime arts, this card, just the fact that it's made by the original creator, definitely, and also the first playable Slifer as well, is what made it that really rare, sought-to-be card to grab. And we have my Solo World Championship promo, my Great Bill. This card is the one card I actually got it in a trade at locals. I'm surprised the person traded for it. I think it's one of the few that you can still buy online for a pretty good price. All the other World Championship promos that I see are sold out, basically. I think the Breath of Ice, I think it's called that, or Fairy Wind. Can't remember for sure. I know it's not Fairy Wind. But all of them are sold out. Muyan Curry is also one. Just because they're really low numbers, availability, and whatnot. But Great Bill stuck around. I thought it would be cool to collect these, and maybe I'll get back on that one day, just to have a full set of them. It would look definitely nice. I know he's kind of an odd-looking card, but definitely one that not everyone has. And if you even have another one of these cards, like the Muyan Curry, like I stated, definitely one you'll want to hold on to, just for the fact that it's not as easy to find anymore for that sole purpose. And I also decided to include a couple of my Ghost Rares in this video, just for the fact that we don't have Ghost Rares anymore either. That's my Stardust Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, and my Honest. They are probably the most expensive Ghost Rares I have. Sadly, only my Honest and my Black Rose Dragon are first edition. The Stardust Dragon is unlimited, but all three are mint condition, which I know Ghost Rares are still a big collector's item for people, and the biggest problem a lot of people have when basically trying to collect these is just the price value that some people throw at them for these cards. Other than that, if you pull them, you were considered extremely lucky as well. I know I pulled Honest out of a booster pack, and this is the same Honest that I've kept to this day when Light of Destruction first came out. And the other two traded pretty high values for them, but it was a really good investment. Their prices haven't decreased at all since then either. It's definitely one that I'll definitely stick into, and why I've always loved investing in Ghost Rares. Just like Ultimate Rares, their prices don't fluctuate too much, and they're just overall gems to have in your binder to save. And I guess you could count these as Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but these are the Yu-Gi-Oh Day prize tokens that I have won from locals. Now, they think, I think each locals got 8 of these tokens to pass out to top 8 players, and they were different depending on the type of theme at the time. I know I had the Yusei token, Yugi, Jaden, the Dark Side of Dimensions token. I think this one came out with a bunch of Ojama tokens, and I got this one with the playmat that I won as well for Battle City Day, and the Zane token as well. I didn't get the latest one for Vrains of Yusaku, but they're definitely not like the tokens you see in the stores where you can buy them and just have them into your collection. The fact that you had to either, buy them online from a third party or win them in the tournament definitely ranks them up as hard to find tokens to use. And wrapping up, we have a few more cards left. Next we have Secret Rare Paw Duality. Now this card, normally cards like this would go into my binder to trade, but at the time, Secret Pot of Duality was a really big deal. This card, $130 is the max I ever saw it, and I didn't get it for that price. I originally got it for $35 when it came out, and I just always held on to it. I knew the price was probably going to go down after the reprints came out and whatnot, but I just, this gem is one of the things that got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I know it's probably never going to go up again, and it's still, I think, in the $10 to $11 range. But just finding a Secret Rare Paw Duality as well, just offhand from someone, is definitely not an easy task to do. But if I could always ever get a playset, I definitely would. And I also have misprints. My one well-known misprint is my Vylon Omega. Now, a lot of people think that like a miscut or something like that is a true reprint, but when the card is missing its name, I definitely count that as a misprint. And it's really hard to judge misprints on rarity, but if you have one like this, I'm pretty sure people can, estimate a value for these cards, and it'll also probably make it more expensive if it's a usable card. I know Vylon Omega isn't too used in Yu-Gi-Oh! Nowadays, but just the fact that it has a no name definitely would be sought out by collectors that collect cards for the sole purpose of having no name. And my one Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh! Card that I keep in my collection is my Ultimate Rare Terrace. This was actually given to me in a trade as a throw-in, which I thought was really awesome. And I love that it affects the camera when you shine a light over the Ultimate Rare. It's just that pure brightness. But never got rid of it. Never knew what to estimate this price at, but I've never seen another one like it here at locals or anywhere I've gone. So it's definitely one of those treasures that just sticks around and makes an interesting story to tell people also. And as for tournament pack cards, the Fortress Whale Oath still remains my rarest one that I have to this day. If I had the Fortress Whale to go with this card, it would be really cool, and it's been on my wants list for a good while now to get that card, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. If anyone has a Fortress Whale and you're looking to get rid of it, if it's in good condition, definitely, think of me as a contact to go to. I'll definitely be interested in it. I'm surprised it wasn't in the Legendary Duelist, just as a little gag reprint. Wouldn't have been as usable, but still really funny in my opinion. And the last Bandai Rare Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that I have are the original Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This card came in a set of 4, and you would basically put it together for the concept of the card. I think in a more of a Exodia kind of themed card. Really cool. Wouldn't ever trade it for anything. It's one of those old school type of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that you don't really know too much about the original game, but the art and the fact that it was in the anime movie makes it all the well worth it. But this was just a small look at what I think to be my rarest Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I didn't count cards in my trade binder because those cards are always moving in and out to people for trades. So you can't really say that I'll have those cards for very long. But these are ones I've had for years on and held on to just for the fact that they are gems to me. And that's what I want to hear from you guys. What your rare Yu-Gi-Oh! Gems are, why you keep them, and whatnot. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kiratwig out.